Hello, welcome back. Now, I want to teach you guys something here about these guys. This very two guy here. You can see this one on here is bad. This one is good. But if you don't look at it critically, you wouldn't know. Now, if I turn it here, you start seeing the reality. And this is what went bad on this very car. This is ML350. And a lot of you may have killed a lot of these, just like this one died here. So what exactly caused this? There are several reasons that will make your clutch to fail. And in this very video, by the time that I'm done with this very video right now, you will not lose another clutch. And specifically, there have been a new customer that actually located me due to a failure of this clutch. It seems very simple in nature, but a lot of people are losing these like literally every day. So why did this one here fail? From my critical observation here, it heated up first, and when it heated up, the rubber part, which is this guy, could not stand that temperature, and that is why it gave up the ghost. So what is often the best scenario? What is often the best solution for this? Why does it heat up? The first factor that can actually make this very part here, this clutch, to fail is too much refrigerant, excessive refrigerant inside the system. When you have extreme much of refrigerant inside the system, there's gonna be two power there trying to kill somebody. The first one is gonna be the compressor they're targeting. But when it couldn't succeed, if the compressor was built strong and it didn't succeed in killing the compressor, then it bets on this guy right here. So excessive refrigerant inside the system is number one you should be looking at when you have a failed clutch. The second guy you want to be looking at when the clutch coil, this very clutch here, fails, is a defective radiator fan. And now this is going to be a little bit mind-blowing for a lot of you who are newbies. Radiator fan, I'm not talking about the blower motor. When your radiator fan goes bad, when your AC is on and your radiator fan didn't pick up, the pressure within the high side here, let me put on this very manifold gauge set and turn it on a little bit and see if I can get it a little bit closer here. So let's take a look at it here. As you can see right now, there is literally, let me see if I can reset it. No, I didn't reset it well. Reset. This is in Chinese. So just a moment. Okay, PSI R134. I'm supposed to have reset it to, I didn't reset it. So this is R134A. So when there is a high pressure in the system, let me let this one get some gas so that you guys can start seeing some significant amount of reading right there. And there we go. You guys can see right now it's about 130 or so. Let me go on the low pressure side. Let's take a look at it. Okay, now you can see it. The two sides are getting ready. So when there is a pressure build up on here, if suppose the fan fails while your car AC is still on, or the fan delays kicking on when the AC comes on, the pressure here is going to throttle. We are talking about a whole lot of 400 to 500 psi. For some system that the system is still well designed, yeah, okay, it's gonna bleed off excessive refrigerant when the pressure started throttling. Some are around about 400 psi or 500. It can go a whole lot. So if the system hasn't a system bleeder, which I'm going to teach you guys later on where the bleeder is, the pressure here is going to get a whole lot of 500 or even 700 psi. So at that very moment, the pressure is going to mount on this very clutch, and when it mounts on this very clutch here, there's going to be struggle. We have two metal here, we have one here, and we have one here. So the weakest part in this very clutch here is going to be the rubber. It's going to be the one that's going to be at the brunt. So making sure that your radiator fan is working is not just only for your radiator or your car engine, but also how efficient and how durable the AC is going to last. Now let's go over to another part, which is one of the most critical part of the AC system, which is this guy here, the gap. What is the gap between here and the pulley? That gap is one of the most part of the problem which a lot of car AC mechanic often face. Let me detach this guy right here, show you guys. Now this is what I'm talking about. Here you guys can see it. So it is lapping. It should never lap. It should never touch this very pulley. If it's touching it, then that's a dead giveaway. This clutch is gonna get overheated because this pulley is constantly running, and when it constantly runs, if this very clutch here touches it, it's gonna create a friction, and when it creates a friction, this clutch is gonna start heating up really fast, super fast and red hot. And when it starts heating up, the rubber part is gonna be the first one that is gonna fry out. So that excessive heating will roast this guy, but this very pulley can be able to take it. Why? Because the pulley is in motion and there is a lot of air around here that's gonna cool it down. But this one here is not in motion, it's stationary, so it's gonna bear much of heat due to the friction, and that is going to lead to condemning the clutch. So wrong gapping is the problem. So how do you determine the right gapping of this very clutch here? That is something which I'm going to teach you guys on the next episode. I don't want this very video here to get too long. I just want this video to be somewhere between 9 minutes and 8 minutes, nothing more. So if you are interested in knowing the correct gapping for the clutch, then watch clutch gapping, car AC compressor clutch gapping in my channel. I'm gonna be leaving the video after this very video here. So guys, I'll catch you on the next one.